else to go. We haven't gotten the assistance that we've needed. Mr. Younger has tried to help us, but he can work only within his confines also, and there are other people involved in this, and we haven't been able to sway those other people to work our way. And we watch it, and it just it's not.
Who has jurisdiction over the rights of access? And who currently has makes the determination of what's safe and adequate?
What's happening now is the building inspector.
Right now, the building inspector is making that determination.
What you're saying, you're not satisfied when he makes the decision, you're not satisfied.
The way he reads the law, I guess.
What we've been saying is, under the state law and the local zoning law, that decision is left up to the planning commission, and it should be their decision, not his.
And that when the decision is made by the planning commission, we take into account fire department, police department, we bring all the people in, so we don't hear anything from them.
We understand the whole thing, okay. Again, personally, I'm still going to withhold recommendation at this point, but I'm not convinced that it's necessary to do it. But we still have a few more weeks to work this out, 3 more weeks, yeah. I'm sorry, Mr. Pasquale.
Warren, I would suggest that, based on this discussion, I'm walking out of here tonight, reading what's going on, and where it says recommendation at town meeting, selectmen, you're not deaf. They're saying no tonight. So what you should do, don't embarrass everybody, take my time. Article 20, say pass over, get all of this thing squared away. They're going to start this whole urination contest down there again, when they don't believe it. All right, okay, we did it, Chris.
Just for the record, I'm not saying no. Okay, no, I just heard that the board was saying no.
But I'm not saying no, unless, I'm looking for some guidance from town council.
What's the difference in 3 to 2 split? Putting words in my mouth.
No, and again, I'm looking for guidance from town council, and I haven't gotten it. Maybe you've gotten it.
We haven't even gotten it.
Well,
In all cases,
excuse me, I was just told you were. You did get it.
We got guidance from one.
I'm getting a mixed message from you. You're saying you get a mixed message from them. What I'm saying is, I for one, and I don't know about the rest of the members of the board, want to get a straight answer from them as to how this should be handled. What's the best way of doing it? Okay, let's resolve it. Is there a consensus?
Yeah, I have no problem with that. Nope. Yeah, get an answer.
No problem, Dan? Got a problem with that? No? How about you?
Get it over with.
Okay.
One way or the other.
Mr. Haas.
I just have a question as far as, are we trying to legislate who has the right to make a decision as what's a buildable, safe lot?
At what point?
No?
What's safe and adequate access?
No?
Just safe and adequate access.
So he's saying the building inspector is doing it, and you saying it's your jurisdiction?
Yes.
It's not a question of jurisdictional so much as it is a question of the bylaw. When he makes that decision, he's in violation of the bylaw. And so that, we appeal it under that.
Which
That's
bylaw?
Yeah.
Huh?
Zoning.
Zoning.
Zoning bylaw.
So we need a general bylaw.
Can our
because
town
the zoning
council
bylaw.
just come out and read the law and say, you have it and he doesn't, and he has to follow it, or is it just not that easy?
It just isn't that easy because...
Isn't that easy because people are still going to disagree with whatever decision is made, whatever opinion is rendered. But that's certainly going to have an impact on my recommendation.
I was just going to say, I've got a folder probably this thick in my office for this topic, and in any given year, I can probably find town council's opinion going from A to B, and anywhere in between.
Well, fine.
Access it.
My suggestion is you provide that folder to town council, have them sift through it and come up with an opinion. If they can't do it, I'll talk with Mr. Kopelman
2 years ago.
Enough is enough.
We asked the commission to do that 2 years ago and we denied.
Mike, you want to take over jurisdiction?
All right. Any other questions or comments on the general bylaws as suggested by the Community Planning Commission after a lot of thought and discussion? I do appreciate the position. I do appreciate the frustration. It needs to be resolved. I'm not so sure this should be resolved, but whatever the resolution is, so be it. Articles 21 through 26 were the street acceptances which the board acted on through a public hearing process earlier this evening. I guess we've covered the matter enough as far as public hearing wise. Do you have a question? You want to talk about Palomino Drive or Old Coast? Yeah, there you go. All right, so I think we're all set. Now, we're going to continue on with, so that closes the informational hearings for the April town meeting warrant articles. We're still on schedule since there's no other time, so it's just assessed for the agenda items on the left. Mr. Vino, you had your one old and new business, you're all set?
All set.
You're all set.
Even if I wasn't, I
Mr.
wouldn't say
Beatty, you said you had a few.
Well, some of them have been already addressed, tennis courts, but as far as snow removal, did we look at the alternative, having people from the House of Corrections do that?
What, you mean the hydrant?
The hydrant, sure.
I don't believe that's been explored.
I believe that in Billerica, they actually clean the town hall.
That's handy.
Right.
That's local. That's local help.
You know, Middleton is close to me, so they can do my
lunch.
The question is, you know, part of it was reliable, cheap labor, you know?
Yeah, Warren, excuse me. Thank you.
And there's, you know, certainly, you know, there's an opportunity there to use that labor pool, you know, to dig out the fire hydrants.
Middleton's a different county, Essex County, so we have to go to Billerica.
Okay, get them out of Billerica.
But we have utilized their services for painting around town and things of that nature.
So why couldn't we look into it for that?
I don't know why.
We'll
contact the sheriff's office.
Okay. Because we'll probably have to supply jackets, right? The piano at the library, you want to have a discussion the other night, that the piano at the library is a Steinway and it's in disrepair, and we need to get some estimates because it's either just going to fall apart. My understanding is the way it is right now, if we were to sell the shell, we would get somewhere between $7,000 and $9,000. You know, if we were to repair it, it would cost about $20,000. It's a Steinway, and we're using the aficionados know about that stuff. But, you know, so we need to look at that before it falls apart.
Mr. Young has a comment.
Yes, we're looking to see whether any of the library trust funds could be utilized for any type of repair for that.
Right. My understanding is it'd be expensive, but if
That's-
they've got the money, they've got the
It's
money.
expensive, it's a nice piece of equipment, you
Right.
hate to lose it. I don't know how we acquired it, but we hate to lose it.
And
I don't
that's
think the
it.
town bought it.
That's it.
Mr. Smith, you want to do it? You all set, Jan?
Yeah, just one thing, the last meeting I asked about the inquiry into the Conservation Commission and the allegations, and I talked to Tom today, and he is currently working on that, so I hope probably maybe next meeting.
Right. We discussed phase one I've looked into, and I'm waiting to hear back from town council on one issue, and then depending how that falls, then we may do phase two.
Thank you. I just have three things. One is Thursday evening, FUMP will be meeting at 7 o'clock. And just to see where we're at, see what the situation, see if the recommendations of the committee stand, if be modified, just to clarify for April town meeting notification and the general public's for the May ballot issues. That'll be 7 o'clock here, Town Hall, which room, 10?
Room 14.
Oh, here, room 14 here, okay. Secondly, I had a question in relation to all the brush that's around town, even in my yard, which is half the tops of my trees. We have an inordinate amount of cleanup to do this year, and I mean, we collectively as a community, we collectively as individual homeowners and property owners. I don't know what can be done. I mean, the burning season ends, what, May 1st? I don't know if that's going to be extended. I don't know if the town can implement some sort of a, we have extended it previously, depending upon weather condition has been extended.
I thought the fire chief came before us and said he couldn't do it.
No, I thought they
The
did.
state law.
The state can do it.
State can do it?
The state has to be the one, it has been extended in the past because of exceptionally wet conditions for a long period of time, whatever, but it's up to the state. The state sets that.
Well, then,
Where's Brad Jones?
we should at least contact
Should be extended.
Representative Jones and ask him to inquire with the appropriate authorities and express our concern and interest in extending that time period. But the other point is there some sort of a program that we can utilize at DPW to do chipping if people were to put this brush to the side of the road and take a look at that and go up and down the streets and clear up some of it too, because otherwise we're going to burn half the town down.
There was,
It'd be expensive.
right now.
I know it's expensive.
Right now, you can bring brush down to recycling during recycling hours. They're allowing it, but a lot of people don't have the trucks.
A lot of people don't have the vehicles and the wherewithal to do it.
I know all the stuff I've got, it's enough to build a house.
Oh, yeah, yeah, but I mean, I'm just driving around town, it's unbelievable the damage that took place. And,
Go by my house. Got about 8 in my front
well,
yard.
I have 200 feet of frontage across, 150 foot of frontage across the front of my property line here, and it's inundated with tops of trees and limbs, and the whole property's strewn with it. But, you know, I know some communities do that, where you can bring the stuff to the side, and they bring it along the chippers and they handle it. And I know that would be an additional expense, but again, if there are going to be some sort of federal funds associated with freed up, federal and state funds freed up for the cost of cleanup because of the result of the storm, which is these are a direct result of, maybe we can tie this in if some funds become available, and we should be looking into those types of programs. Just my comment. Yeah, on my...
Yes, sir. I just have a question. Are there any ordinances in town that require people to do a cleanup? Dana, right near your property, a couple of houses up, there has been a tree limb sitting there so that when you come around that bend, you've got to really balance your car through the middle of there because it's been hanging there. It's been just lying in the street now since the storm.
They should contact,
Yeah,
they should contact town hall.
There's no ordinance.
Well, so there is no ordinance saying if a tree is in your yard, branch
If
lands
it's
or
over the
not.
street, we could take care of it.
If it's over a street, a public way, or sidewalk, something like that, then the municipality is responsible.
No, there's no responsibility on the landowner. If the tree is rooted in his yard and the branch comes down in the street, it's not his responsibility.
No, I actually had a tree uprooted from my yard that landed on my neighbor's house a couple of years ago. You know, so I called my insurance company and they said, no, his insurance company has to cover for it. I said, well, what if I use the chainsaw? They said, yes, your insurance will cover stupidity. You know, so.
No, if there's a tree reported, it's in a dangerous condition, like situation like you, that tree in your yard had been dead, and your neighbor had sent you letters and notified you the fact that it was dangerous hazardous, then you could be held responsible for it. But in a normal, like this would be considered an act of God, storm damage and stuff, you know, you're not really responsible as far as your own property cleaning up. I don't believe there's anything that would make you do it.
Yeah, Mr. Pasquale, some comment on the brush that I was talking about?
Well, I spoke to the town administrator today, because I got approached by a couple of elderly people, and what we have, if you go around, is mailboxes now, have been, several of them, by the way, because of the storm and the plows, etc. And what he told me, what I passed on to these people, is that the town gives you up to $25 a replacement. So in other words, if you got something that's an $80 mailbox down here, but you have to get the bill, so you got to turn it into the DPW director.
Mr. Bagan.
You know, what's the policy if a tree is on public property and limbs fall into someone's yard? Do we clean that up, or you can get back to that?
No, we've done that in some cases, sure.
But again,
It depends on the particular case.
The point being, I mean, everybody's aware of what the situation is. I would just like to try and dovetail this cleanup, if we can, if there are going to be some funds available. And I don't know how soon the state is going to find out if there are going to be federal funds available. And I know they were skeptical about it, but if there are going to be federal funds available, be dispersed to cities and towns, the additional cleanup, if it can be factored in as to any formula, it's going to be submitted to the state. Let's see if we can do it and get some of the chipping done and assist the community in cleaning it up. Like I said before, I know we've suspended the bonfire the 4th of July, but if everybody burns their brush, we'll have a bonfire going.
Well, we save it all, yeah.
Save it for down there. But I think we should be looking at it. And again, just this past weekend, again, I'd like to congratulate Janet O'Neill and our committee and the Friends Fighting Breast Cancer. They had a very successful fundraising effort at the Boston Copley Marriott Hotel this past Saturday night, and there were several hundred people from the town of North Reading